at least one of these members continues to deliver weapons to Assad. The United States has long said that it's past time that this council assumed its responsibilities and imposed tough, targeted sanctions and an arms embargo on the Assad regime, as many individual countries have already done. But this draft didn't even do that. The text simply supported an Arab League plan that Assad himself already agreed to uphold, and the subsequent Arab League decision towards a peaceful resolution of the crisis. The co-sponsors of this draft have truly gone the last mile to try to reach consensus on a draft that already more than accommodates the concerns of a few council members about the use of force and sanctions. Subsequent attempts today to introduce wrecking amendments at the very 11th hour, only to further delay council action, are unforgivable. Since yesterday, the Syrian government has waged an intensified and especially horrific campaign in homes to murder hundreds, including women and children, with artillery and tanks and other indiscriminate violence. Syrian forces continue to prevent hundreds of innocent and injured civilians from seeking medical help. The international community must protect the Syrian people from this abhorrent brutality. But a couple members of this council remain steadfast in their willingness to sell out the Syrian people and shield a craven tyrant. The United States, by contrast, stands fully and irrevocably with the long-suffering people of Syria. Since these same two council members vetoed the last resolution on Syria, we have heard reports from the High Commissioner for Human Rights that the regime may be committing crimes against humanity. From Arab League Secretary General al-Arabi and from Qatari Prime Minister Hamad bin Jassim, who noted that the Assad regime has, quote, failed to make any serious effort to cooperate with the Arab League, and that Assad's, quote, killing machine continues effectively unabated, end quote. Since these two members last vetoed a resolution on Syria, an estimated 3,000 more civilians have been killed. 3,000. Another almost 250 killed just yesterday. Many thousands more have been held captive and tortured by Assad and his Shabia gangs. Since these two members last vetoed a resolution, however, and despite the absence of Security Council action, we've seen more and more Syrians speak out in peaceful demonstrations against the regime. Once again, the courageous people of Syria can clearly see who on this council supports their yearning for liberty and universal rights and who does not. And during this season of change, the people of the Middle East can now see clearly which nations have chosen to ignore their calls for democracy and instead prop up desperate dictators. Those who oppose this resolution have denied this last chance to end Assad's brutality through peaceful means under Arab League auspices. Any further bloodshed that flows will be on their hands. The governments that once again stymied council action today need to reverse course and heed the voices of the Syrian people. For their own sake, for the sake of Syria, for the sake of the Middle East, and for the sake of this council. Thank you, Mr. President.